Milio has two main keystones and items that he can go. The first one is the most standard Airy page with Resolve secondary. After the buffs to Triple Tonic, I've been testing a lot of Inspiration secondary over Resolve, and I've been liking it a lot so far. You can change this on Milio and most enchanters, and it feels great because of how much faster you can get your first item. The second keystone for Milio is Dark Harvest. Now I know it sounds troll, but Milio actually uses it very well because of the interaction with his passive and allies. When an enemy is low, his allies can actually proc it for him, making it very easy to stack. I would only run this page when you have a strong ADC pairing or if you have a burst mage on your team. For his items, you can either go Helia or Ardent first and then flex your build with most enchanter items. I would go Ardent if you have an auto heavy AD carry and then Helia if you don't. If you are going to build Helia, only build it as a first item because it has no scaling. Yo, what's up guys? We finally have the Milio commentary. For the longest time, I've been getting a lot of requests and I like playing Milio, but it's kind of a conditional pick. You really need some setup for him to be good, and this draft was a pretty good setup for him. Some things that Milio needs to do really well is that he needs a good AD carry that he synergizes well with. This one is going to be Ashe Milio. This is one of his best pairings because of how Ashe can use his passive really well. Second condition is into a team comp where he can get a big cleanse off with his ult. So in this case, it's going to be Cassiopeia. If Cass gets a 5-man stun, I can, or I guess 4-man technically, I can ult and then kind of break us out of the stun. Third condition is, this is where Milio is going to be like amazing, is if you're into a enemy team comp with a lot of melee champs where you can get a lot of value off your Q. Here, I would say they do have a lot of melee comps, or sorry, they do have a lot of melee champions, but it's very hard for me to land a Q just because they kind of like fly everywhere and they can avoid it with Gwed being invulnerable. So this game, I was originally going to go Airy, but I went Dark Harvest just because I know that we were going to do really well in lane. I think that Dark Harvest, it might be a little forced here, but Dark Harvest is good into lanes where you know you can get it, proc it a lot. Preferably, I think the best AD carry to pair it with is Lucian, just because he has that burst. But I think Ashe is not bad, just if you lane Kingdom it. This lobby is a mid-masters lobby. I think I'm Emerald 2 here. Yeah, the games have honestly been getting a lot harder now that we are pretty deep on this challenge. One thing I wanted to talk about is how you can play Milio aggressively. I think the biggest mistake a lot of Milio players make is just playing too passive. And you might be wondering where you can make those aggressive plays and like what that would even look like. I think I do a really good job in this lane because I am playing Milio into Janna. Milio into Janna is usually a handshake lane, but if the enemy support doesn't have a game plan, then you can really abuse them and get prio and kind of like extend your lead. In this game, you'll kind of see how it goes. Like I said, Milio Janna is very... Sorry, that's so distracting. Milio Janna is very handshake, but I'll kind of show you how I get the pro in lane. So right off the bat, I'm playing for level 2. I'm playing very aggressively for the push. You can see I'm like pacing in and out. I also get sweeper this lane. Pretty much I know if an enchanter player is bad, if they just kind of give up middle bush like that. Just like off the first wave, I already know that we're going to have an advantage. You can see me pacing in and out of the bush, so I drop the minion aggro, and I'm just playing very forward here. I know I'm going to get level 2 after this minion, so I immediately walk up. Ashe is a little behind. I try to get the Q, but I miss. It's still fine that I'm still trading because we are going to win any trades here just because we are level 2. Janna wants to push, so I Q her back, and just... Already, we kind of have an advantage because Janna was playing the lane very lazy. I always say, like, in my commentaries, as Enchanter versus Enchanter, most of the time it is handshake, but you can, if you can micro better than the enemy, you can actually get a lead. And this is a prime example of it. So, we are already very strong. Janna has the Dark Harvest stack that I'm stacking. I tried to snipe it with the Q. I don't hit her. I end up hitting Cassiopeia though, so we still have a lot of pressure. Karthus died topside. He traded with Kha'Zix, so I know that I'm a little worried that I can't get ganked here, but we still have a timer for Kha'Zix to walk out of base. I'm just pacing in and out. You can kind of see, if we go back here, this is like pretty important. The way I play the vision in the bush, I like outplay Janna really hard. So I'm walking in and out. I auto her. I walk back. I auto her again. I Q her and then I walk back. So this, like Janna can't even auto me because of how I'm stepping out of the bush, autoing, and then walking back. It's a very small difference, but doing that makes it so that the enemy can't auto you. As opposed to you autoing them from the bush. If you auto the enemy from the bush, then it gives vision, right? But if you step out and then go back, then you don't give them that vision. So I flash Q here. Again, this is another example of just playing super aggressive. I try to cancel the back, but she moves last second. I'm pretty low from Janna autoing me, but I know that I have my shield and I'll be okay. So Cassiopeia takes a reset here, and we just match the reset. Janna's going to be late. And just in the first 4 minutes, we already have a lead. So I'm going Amtome. I am going Ardent Rush in this game. I think that Ardent Rush is probably better in higher elo than lower elo because most AD carries aren't good enough to really utilize that attack speed. And also, I think Helia just gets more value. It's easier to get value. So off the base, I am coming mid. I'm trying to bait out the Fizz, but he goes in, but we aren't able to get anything. I'm walking forward here. I see Kha'Zix is also here. I get my Q off, second Dark Harvest stack. And I'm just playing super confident because I know that we win this. I'm hovering around the area because I won't be able to go around in time. And I actually get a Dark Harvest stack off the burn from Ashe autoing Kha'Zix. And this is really important here. So Ashe needs to kind of respect crossing over because Kha'Zix and Cass are here. So I pretty much go and like rescue the VIP to walk over. And then Ashe, Milio is just such a strong lane, or strong duo, that we just kind of kill Cass. And this all kind of snowballed with us getting prio in lane and just being able to bully out the enemy bot wave, so enemy bot lane, so our wave is kind of positioned this way. This is kind of the importance of always trying to get prio as a range support. You should be able to do it, and if you are just kind of, if you don't really have a game plan, then the games kind of fall this way if you're Janna, where if you are playing against a support who knows what they want to do and you allow them to do it, you lose a lead just super fast. So I'm trying to reset here, but I get canceled. This really sucks because now my recall timing is really bad. I should have respected the enemy a bit more and walked a bit more back. So I have 932 gold. So basically I want to farm this wave and then take a reset and walk back. This is probably the best time I can reset. I'm pinging my Ashe that to be careful because I am walking back. When I am in this position, I can't go mid because our wave is pushing out. Ashe unfortunately gets hit by Janna Q and gets chunked out, which really sucks because, you know, we are ahead, but now we can't push our lead as much. That was a really bad time to recall because the wave is pushing out. Fizz comes for a gank mid. Galio has a nice counter gank, and we're just chilling. I actually end up getting the kill. One thing about Dark Harvest is that you might be getting a lot of kills just because when they are low and it procs, it's kind of a burst. So yeah, that's the reason why I got the kill there. I think it's fine. Kind of a bigger conversation that I'm not going to have, but I think getting kills on enchanters early is actually pretty good just because enchanter items are so broken. And like, if you have an early enchanter item, then a lot of the times the enemy just can't, like, they'll lose any 2v2. So like if I get Ardent early here, which I'm going to do, we're just going to kind of smash lane. Karthus is invading. I see that. I don't think I can make it in time. So I'm kind of staying bot here. Yeah, we push out this wave and then Ashe backs. I have 863 gold. I don't have quite enough for Ardent and I know that, so I kind of want to stay here. honestly, walking up this way was kind of dangerous because if I run into Kha'Zix, I can get pinched by Fizz, but I took the gamble. I walked up. I wanted to look here, but was not able to really find anything. Oh, another thing, I'm going 2 points Q. Usually I go 2 points Q just because the Q damage, the AP ratio is actually insane, and it actually does quite a lot of damage. But I'll go 2 points Q and then the rest on E max to W max just to have more damage and pressure in lane. So I'm kind of waiting here to get my Ardent. I think I should be able to afford it very soon, but I can't just I can't just leave my AD carry in this wave state. So I'm just kind of chilling here. Karthus is coming down for a roam, so I'm walking up. Ashe gets a nice arrow. Unfortunately, she flashes out. I make sure to E Karthus so I can't apply that passive. I do get the Dark Harvest stack there. Again, this is why Dark Harvest is so good on Milio. Karthus ends up chasing this. I think this is like way too forced, but I am helping. I know Cass is going to look to ult, so I'm just waiting, turning around, and then I immediately ult when I can, but Cass flashes out. Enemy AD carry is going to lose a lot on this wave, but our mid lane also kind of sacked his wave with that ult. So they're going to get a plate mid. I think it was a little too overforced, and Galio is just kind of losing out on that. I finally have Ardent. I'm kind of recalling in a bad place. I should have like at least walked back a little bit just so I don't get cancelled. Ashe unfortunately gets cancelled, but I'm not going to stay because I just have way too much gold. I go Ardent here, and then I actually end up picking up a Dark Seal. I'm like really... So I like Medjayas on champions like Milio, where I can play like super... Milio is one of the enchanters where you can play like super far back because he doesn't necessarily need to be in the front as much as like Janna or like Sona, I guess, because he doesn't really need to auto anything, right? Yeah, I come back mid here, just off base, and we are able to get Fizz. I'm really low. I want to throw a ward down before I back. I was debating whether or not to W Galio here to get the Dark Harvest stack, but I was just like, nah, I'm just going to go home. Next item I'm going is CDR shoes. Yeah, like I'm just like super strong. The triple tonic build is like going inspiration secondary is so nice because of how fast you can get your items, since you don't need to spend money on boots and you have the elixir that gives you gold. It gives you 60 gold now, which is just absolutely insane. So I have Ardent early. I want to just take fights with Ashe, but the tower is one plate, so I want to prevent this. So this is why I path here. I Q Fizz to get him away from the tower, but he E's it, and unfortunately they do get the tower. Yeah, Karthus walks topside here and then just immediately gets ganked and then dies. So I am like, well, game state is really cooked. Well, honestly, it's not that bad. Karthus just has a lot of deaths, and I want to play around Ashe because I do have that Ardent, and Ashe is honestly pretty strong. She has Kraken. We have both items completed. Their bot lane doesn't have anything, so I really wanted to force. Okay, so I saw that Ashe had ult here. I was like very confused why Ashe didn't ult earlier. I put W on Galio so I can get that Dark Harvest stack. Ashe uses ult to kill, which is not really ideal, but I mean, it worked out, so it's okay, I guess. Again, just playing really heavily for Ashe because she is, because we do have Ardent. My ward isn't in the bush. I was like a little confused when he stepped out, but Makes sense. I think I was just like a little bit off. Top lane is dice to Gwen, but we get this dragon. So I want to push out bot. I don't think it makes sense for my team to push top here. I'm picking my AD carry to push out bot because it just makes the most sense, but my team re-engages and then they start pinging me, which doesn't really make sense. We had the push bot, we didn't have to fight mid, and if they just stayed mid, or sorry, if we just stalled the enemy in river, then we get the push bot, and then Ashe can come, and then we can rotate mid, but I don't know. My 4/7 Karthus is pinging me. You know, one thing I'll give Karthus is that he's really good at using his passive, but yeah, this very cringe when your underperforming teammate is making calls that are just terrible. And this is a very big trap of solo queue. Oh, by the way, I used W there on that bush because it gives vision. I was scared Kha'Zix was there, and so I threw it down, but I'm walking top here. Looking for an angle, I ward over. Trying to bait Gwen into Karthus. She does take the bait. Good dodge by Gwen on the dodge. I don't know what ability it is. I get a Dark Harvest stack there from my passive. I'm not sure what it was. I Q out Fizz. I eat the ult. I ping Karthus off. And Ashe is here, so I know this is a really good fight. I get the ult off on Karthus, and he dies. So we keep fighting, and Ashe is just so strong. She is... Yeah, she's 403. Even when she was just like 102, she was still just very strong. And yeah, this game we really want to focus on playing around Ashe because we did build that Ardent for her. And also, she's just very ahead. So we break top tower. Yeah, we break top tower. Can't really go for grubs here. Gonna reset. Try to go mid and then try to play objectives. So in the mid to late game, you always want to have a plan. I'm pressing tab to see who's strong, who I want to play around. It's just gonna be, this game is just going to be Ashe. I'm going Shurelya's here because I think the Shurelya's will help us a lot for staying alive. I don't think this is a good game to stat check the enemy just because they are assassins and they can kind of rip through us. I think we need the outplay potential with the movement speed. So starting mid here. Again, trying to go with Ashe. I see that Kha'Zix is walking up through the jungle, so I walk up here because I know I'll be safe. Ashe is also hovering me. Yasuo is pinging the grubs, so I want to go. I'm okay with face checking this because I do have my team behind me. Sweeping, want to get some good wards. Try to get the Q on Fizz, but Fizz just walks forward. W on the Yasuo gets the Dark Harvest stack. And we're in an awkward position. I'm just playing with Ashe here. Have a really nice ult. There's that Milio ult that... there's a reason why I picked Milio, to cleanse an ult like that. And then Ashe is just going ham. Unfortunately, we don't get the kill, but we are able to pick Fizz. So we got one. I think they actually got the objective, but yeah, we were able to trade out that kill. I'm picking that Drake's up in a minute, so I want to reset and then go mid and then get prio mid and then go through dragon. Otacon is also on the bot side, so we're going to be bot side focused for most of this game. I do see that Kha'Zix went what is that item? Serpents. So it's actually good that I don't go like Moonstone or like a shield based item, and it's better I go like a utility item like Shurelya's so it doesn't get as much value. We're looking here. I'm trying to hold Q for Fizz, but kind of a hard angle. Good ult by Ashe. And we get sandwiched by the enemy team. Gwen ends up behind us. I'm assuming she could have just walked. But yeah, we kind of over chased there. I think Kha'Zix is actually really good into our team because of his W evolve. We can't really like lock him down. So I'm hovering over my Dark Harvest there. I don't know if you guys saw, but it has 992 value, and every time I proc it, it does, let me see here. Every time it does 190 damage, which is like pretty huge. 992 might be outvalued by Aerie here, but Dark Harvest is actually like a scaling rune, so the later the game goes on, the more stacks I have, the faster it increases. So I'm up before Ashe. I walk mid, but there's like shenanigans happening here. Enemy overstays. We are able to get 2, and then I'm picking my team to push mid, and then for us to go Otacon. We see that Fizz is topside. I am hovering my Ashe so we can get prio and that we can move. Again, this is why I think a lot of support players tend to leave their AD carry mid and then kind of like focus on warding around Otacon, but by playing the game this way, you can have your AD carry walk with you so that they can actually contest stuff. Here I throw down my W. I'm making it pace back and forth between Ashe and Yasuo so that they both get Ardent. I see that Kha'Zix is mid, but we are able to just get it faster. And so I am pinging my team to go back. Karthus is a freak, and so he's walking forward. Ashe unfortunately gets stopped, and this is like the beginning of the clip. I outplayed this Fizz so hard, so I knew that I knew I shouldn't Q when he goes out of Zhonya's because he's most likely going to E, and so I wanted to bait out the E and then try to make him go Q towards me to go out of base, which is why I flashed out and then I got the Q off. Yeah, this was like a pretty rare Milio outplay. Like when you hear Milio outplay, it's like you can't really think too much of anything, but yeah, that was like the rare Milio outplay. Gwen tries to go for me. Is almost able to get me, but Galio has an ult in here, which saves me. And yeah, I'm like chilling. So I need a reset. I have 1 ward. I was maybe going to help Karthus, but at this point, Karthus is like really tilted and he's trying to lose the game. He has 11 deaths, and just like watching his gameplay here, like him walking up from bot to mid after Otacon and him just dying on the map, like where mid lane on their side is just like outrageous. And so yeah, you'll kind of see what this game leads to. So I'm building towards Shurelya's here. I upgraded my tier 3 shoes because tier 3 shoes are like Ionian tier 3 shoes are always, I feel like they're always worth it to upgrade early. They're just like one of the most broken. They're probably the most broken tier 3 boots out of all the shoes. And the movement speed that you get just is very nice. Especially into an enemy team comp where they have a lot of assassins. So I'm setting up the most iconic mid bush setup where I have the control ward and then the ward over. Even though we are behind, I still want to establish that we still want to establish ourselves mid and then try to like move forward. Karthus kills Janna. She just kind of walked in. Gwen has a really good hexagon thing. I get Fizz ulted, and we just kind of get sandwiched. Yasuo is last to rotate, feels bad. At this point, like, Kha'Zix is so strong because Karthus has just been running into him. And so the game is very hard. The Shurelish is going to help a lot. I think my itemization for third item could have been better, but we'll talk about that very soon. Yasuo gets a kill, which was really good, but then he goes back in and ints. He was feeling it after the kill, which was honestly a good outplay, but he just inted again. Jungler 712, Yasuo's 4-9. Yeah, this game is just very hard. Again, it's important to always be thinking about your win cons. Here, it's just going to be playing around Ashe. Galio is more, not really a carry, more of a support. And so we see Janna here. I Shurelias to maybe try to catch up, but then I start picking off. Karthus walks forward. I'm just like, okay, well, I gotta leave you because you're playing like a freak. Want to get this dragon. I think dragon is going to be our saving grace because we have 2 so far. Kha'Zix hops over the wall. Karthus is able to get the dragon, but we need to dip because Gwen is on the other side. Try to save Karthus as hard as I can. He actually ends up living, which Janna kind of griefed that by pushing him out. And so I'm pinging, or yeah, we want to take Baron here because we picked 2. But Karthus is just farming blue, which doesn't really make sense. We killed 2, and this is like our one shot of like coming back. But yeah, this Baron basically falls apart because Karthus is not with us. Like, it's one thing to farm blue, right? He's low, right? Like, okay, he's low, he wants to heal off his camps, whatever, but like, it's another thing to full clear his bot side. Like, it's insane. Very sad that Yasuo doesn't have ult here, getting a nice Q3 on Cass. But Karthus dies, and then Karthus dies trying to come back to us. And yeah, because of that, the enemy is just able to take Baron. So one little cool thing you can do is actually, if you were where I was standing, and if you W'd over Baron wall, the W will loop around, give you vision, and come back to you. So I didn't have a ward there, which I was thinking of doing, but like, it wouldn't have mattered because like we wouldn't be able to contest it. But that's a cool little Milio tech that you can do. Using your W for vision can be super helpful. Looking at my Dark Harvest damage, I'm at 1.6k. 19 stacks. This game, I actually got a lot because we did have that lane kingdom. Game plan, just play around Ashe. I tried to... It was very crucial that I land that Q there. I think we actually could have killed, but because I missed that Q, the game kind of fell apart. And yeah, this is honestly the beginning of the end. Top lane fights. Kha'Zix is here. Kha'Zix goes for Galio here. And actually, we kill Karthus, or sorry, we kill Kha'Zix. I'm assuming it's because of Karthus passive, but yeah, that was very surprising. So I'm gonna be up soon. At this point of the game, this is like kind of the limbo zone where Baron's up in 5 and then Dragon's up in 3 minutes. So you can go any... You can basically go play any side, or like... Yeah, you want to start mid and then you can play any side. But I'm just trying to play around Ashe. We see that Cass is overextending in the side, so we want to look here. I saw that Ashe has Maw, which I feel like it's a lot better to go Wits here. Wits End. But yeah, Fizz is in the bush, I die. And yeah, so I actually end up losing this game, which is insane, but yeah, Karthus and Yasuo are just trolling. They're, like, you can just tell that Karthus is super tilted. Yasuo might just be bad, but I think he's also tilted. Karthus is just like running in and dying like this every game. We are able to get a lot here though. So we trade 4 for 5. Yeah. Like at this point, I'm trying really hard to come back, but like, it's the game is hard. Like, it's also very tilting because I can tell, like, I have chat off and I can just tell Karthus is tilted based on how he's playing, and then that's also tilting me. But yeah, League of Legends, big mental game. This game I kind of just like mental boomed. I'm trying to ward around the area. I'm trying to ward in a way where I can leverage the vision to get dragon, and I'm like avoiding Kha'Zix. So I have I'm warding the entrances here, and then I am going to, yeah, so I want Ashe to push out mid, and then we can go dragon. I definitely should have reset here for wards, because I had a little bit of downtime, but yeah, I was a little antsy getting on the map. So that was a very good E by Ashe. We should take this fight because Kha'Zix isn't there. Kha'Zix is like the main reason why this game is so hard. I want us to push mid before we go take this dragon, if it's even possible, because it is so sole point. Like this is where, this is like our best chance at winning the game. Fizz goes in. I have to play super far behind because I did eat the Fizz ult. So I'm just hovering behind, playing super safe. This is like a pretty important skill to learn or pick up if you are an enchanter player, is that, yeah, if you are one shot, just playing super far behind, which is kind of why I feel like Medjai's makes a lot of sense on Milio, because you can play this far backline and it be okay. So Kha'Zix is just clowning us, honestly. Yeah, our comp is just so bad into Kha'Zix because he has the W evolve and we don't have a lot of lockdown. Only thing we can really do is like maybe Ashe ult them. I upgrade Medjai's here because at this point I think we need a miracle if we are going to win this game. So I want to try to make my way towards Baron here, doing the same thing that I did previously where I'm leveraging vision, but I base check this and then die to Kha'Zix. For some reason I thought Kha'Zix was still bot side, but that obviously was not true, and that's, yeah, I just kind of died. Should have W'd the bush, but yeah, just caught lacking. I honestly don't know what happened here. I'm pretty sure Ashe misclicked super hard. And then I think this is like, yeah, this is towards the end of the VOD. At this point they just like break our tower and then we kind of lose. But yeah, even though we lost this game, I think it was a good showcase on how Milio can be played aggressively. You know, if our Karthus was not trying to lose this game, then this would have been easy. But unfortunately, sometimes you just can't win games if someone on your team really wants to lose. So that's it for this commentary. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something about Milio. I'll see you guys next time.